contract is a contract in which a property owner removes his property for order to lend to use or to get benefit and pleasure to sell it or will keep the lead property alive to the hire when the money has been used up as agreed by payment in installment until the end of the agreement. Hire purchase contract is not a sale contract. Although there is a similar nature of payment in installment because of the sale of installment, the ownership of the property belongs to the buyer immediately while the contract is made. You do not have to wait for payment in full. As for the hire purchase contract, when the tenant terminates the contract or the money that has been paid for purchase of property owner and property owners prefer to return to take possession of the lead property.
The important criteria of a hire purchase contract: the lessor must own the ownership of the property use of the leasing. 2. The lessor here purchase leave his property for the here purchase to talk or rented. 3. The lessor here purchase to sell like this property to the here purchase or lend the property become ownership of the here. 4. The tenant will have to pay the here purchase fee in installment until the completion of the agreement. 5. Hire purchase contract if not in writing is considered void.
Type of contract: the lease must be in writing. It can't be done verbally. Otherwise, it will be null and void, causing no legal effect to be binding the hire with the hire purchase. The contract is in writing. You can do it yourself. There is no need to do this against the competent official. The hire will write the contract himself or use the form that is available for filling message into it. Or you can let someone write or type for the whole issue, but the contract must be signed by the hire purchase and the lessor, both parties. If there is a signature of only one party, the document is invalid.
Right and duty of the party: the hire has the right to be handed over the leased property in a condition free from defect or in good repair condition because the lessor has duty and responsibility in relation to the defective asset, even if the lessor is aware of the defect or not. For example, when you go to a rental contract for a color TV, the shopkeeper is responsible for delivering the color TV in perfect condition. There are no normal person in any way. If you detect that root color button or root volume button are fine, you must tell the shopkeeper change a new color TV for you because it's matter. It is your right under the law, and the owner has no right. It will for you to refix a damaged color TV.
the right to terminate the contract at any time with delivery. The property is returned to the day we have to pay the cost of returning the sir. That the law provided right did because the money the lessee had paid to the lessor in installment is right. Paying rent. Therefore, the hire can terminate the contract. The intention to terminate the contract must return the property to the owner if the intention is to return the property later, not a complete termination of the contract. Termination of the contract must be in parallel the return in the meantime.
The hire will make two consecutive payments or with the contract. In essence, the owner of the rental property has the right to terminate promise and time is for the payment that has been before rented in the property, no for as involved to lessee have no right to recovery from the owner and the owner of the property has no right to claim the outstanding about failure of payment must be not payment into consecutive in the default is not used one or several times but not in station sure and default does not use the salary of February, April, June, August as but pay the rental fee from January, March, May, July. It's hard to like this despite the before how many times the lessee have no right to terminate the contract.
In bit of contract in the material past mean that higher persist contract are intended for the higher persist have the right to use the property and palliate the life of the higher until the life is fully paid according to the agreement. If the higher take the property to trade and use not pay confident bit of contract, the owner has the right to terminate the contract and the higher has another similar of friend of imprisonment because the ownership of the property is still owned by the higher persist. Incidentally, in friend had the higher been contract because of default, not using the money which is the last installment. The owner of the property has the right to forfeit all payment that have been paid before and confiscate property back only when waiting for the higher to pay the price when for payment in the next payment. If not, the lessor forfeit the money.
When the lessor uses the right to terminate the contract because the hire failed to make two consecutive payments, property owners have the following rights. 1. Forfeit money that the hire had used before terminating the contract. 2. Property owners have the right to return to possess the property. 3. The lessor had no right to demand the lessor to pay the outstanding rental. There is only the right to call that the hire used the property of the owners of the property the period of use of the property and has the right to claim damages.
because the hire had used the property until damage due to the use of the party other than what had been agreed in the contract.
Example of car leasing. Mr. A leased a car from Mr. B at a price 500,000 pay. The hire purchased fee on the date of the contract on January 20, 2021 in the amount of 300,000 baht, and in February 2022 will pay another 200,000 baht. So, the lease agreement between Mr. A and Mr. B is a contract that agrees to pay the lease into installments, which the lease does not need to be required to pay monthly or weekly installments. So, the payment of Mr. A will have to be paid from time to time is called in cash or bill.
Judgment related to car leasing. Judgment of the Supreme Court number 14324/2515/8. The defendant initially contacted the plaintiff to return the leased vehicle shows the purpose of the defendant to terminate the lease only when the plaintiff was contacted. It agreed and made an appointment to receive the car lease to return by assigning said the plaintiff against the defendant to deliver the leased car to said, thus terminating the lease by delivering the property back to the plaintiff according to Commercial Code Section 573. The here process agreement shall be terminated that date, even after the defendant agreed to sell the lease right to said. It was a matter that happened after the contract was terminated, when the defendant did not default on the lease payment and did not appear that at the time the contract was terminated, the defendant was liable to the plaintiff. The defendant is not liable to the plaintiff by the lawsuit.